boys and girls. Welcome back. Remember, my name is Miss Christy. I am a PACE artist, and I've been bringing art lessons to you all year. And we have talked about a lot of different things in science and in art. And I wanted to go ahead and share with you a new project that is about probably the most amazing plant in the whole world. And it's very famous, and I don't know if you've ever seen one before, but you might have watched a video on how they work. It's a Venus flytrap. They're called carnivorous plants. Have you ever heard that before? Carnivorous or carnivorous plants? What does that mean? Well, carnivorous is when something eats meat, or when an animal eats a different kind of animal. And so some of you may eat chicken, but I'll bet none of you eat bugs, right? Well, these plants eat bugs, and sometimes frogs, and the way they do it is amazing. So we're going to do an art project that is a Venus flytrap, but we're also going to talk a little bit about why they do this and what are they doing. So the only materials you'll need for this project are a piece of white construction paper and a pencil. Now, usually I start out with a pencil and draw in all those shapes and lines, and then we come back and we color it. We're going to do that in this lesson because I think that if you have a whole art lesson, a whole block of time to just color, it'll be a lot more fun. So you'll need your pencil and you'll need your paper. This is going to be part 1 of 2. So in this lesson, we're going to draw in all of the shapes of our Venus flytrap garden, and then next time we'll color. So what do we start with first? We're going to start with our piece of paper, and I want you to fold the paper this time. We've done this before where you match up the corners and fold, and it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be close, and then you fold it in half again. And that leaves little creases in the paper so that you know where I am, and I can tell you, go here, go there, put a shape here, put a shape there. So you're going to fold it up like this, and then you're going to open it up. And it gives you those 2 lines, one vertical line and one horizontal line. So you go ahead and do that. Teachers, if there's ever a time that you need to pause the video and then let kids catch up and then press play again, please do so. All right. So now that you have your paper folded, I want you to use your pencil and I want you to write your name on the bottom right-hand corner. Can you do that for me? Let's put your name very clearly. What's your name? Go ahead and you write your name right there. Write it kind of small so it doesn't show through in your picture. You got it? Okay. So flip your paper over. Your name should be on the back. Mine is up here on the wall, but yours is going to be on the desk. And I want you to orient your paper like this. Does anybody remember what that's called when your paper is like this or vertical? It's called portrait. And we've done a few portraits. So you could think of this as a portrait of a Venus flytrap. Now, you'll see those creases, and I'll tell you where you need to draw in relation to those 2 lines. You ready? All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the shapes that are in the Venus flytrap. I'm always going to show you how to do it and then you try. So if you follow directions, you're going to love how this project comes out. And Mother's Day is coming up, and after it's all colored in, you can give it to your mom. Okay. So I have my pencil here. It's a special kind of pencil that draws really dark, but I want you to draw softly. Remember, your hand is going to start hurting if you're holding that pencil or crayon really, really tight. So hold it softly and draw softly. Let's start. The first thing I want you to do is use your finger and find the middle of your paper. You can see those lines crisscross right there in the middle. The next thing I want you to do, so when I drew this picture with my daughter, she wanted to put in grass. So we're going to warm up by practicing a little tiny zigzag line. Do you remember what a zigzag line is? Okay, let's start with that. Down here at the bottom, on the left, you're going to make a little zigzag line. And we'll just say this is part of the grass. Zigzag, zigzag. It shouldn't take too long if you're drawing softly. Did you get that grass in? Or zigzag grass? Okay. So right here in the middle, I want you to come over to the left. Put your finger right there. And then draw a line. Watch me first and then you try. We're going to draw a line that goes up and curves over. And you can see I stopped here. So if you want, you can put a little point. You can trace your finger up and over to the left and put a little dot right there and trace all the way up. Next, I want you to double it up. There's going to be that line side by side, just like the number 11. Do you remember what that's called? It's called parallel lines. They run side by side. And this is going to be the stem of our flower. Did you know that Venus flytraps actually have a flower? That's it. The leaf is the part that catches the flies, and the flower is the part that makes seeds. So that's where our flower is going to be, but don't draw it yet. That flower comes off. There are actually a bunch of flowers. So watch me make a series of straight lines. It's almost going to look like a star. I'm going to go cross, and then I'm going to do another one. Can you do that? So I made an X at the top of this stalk, and then I made another X up there. You try that. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 straight lines that all meet in the middle. They all crisscross. The next thing you're going to do is draw in some little triangle flowers. Watch me first. At the end of each stalk, you're going to start with the tip of a triangle and go out to the side and back. You can even make it part of that stem. Start at the stem, out, over, and back. Out, over, and back. These triangles are part of the flower. Out, over, and back. Out, over, So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flower triangles. Do you have that yet? Keep working. For those of you that have your triangles, you can do the next step while your friends catch up. We're going to draw some ovals next to our triangle. So right here, we're going to draw an oval and another oval. Some of them can be circles. Some of them can be really small, skinny ovals, and some of them can be big, wide ovals. You can see that the oval is touching the triangle, and that is where the petals are. So we're going to draw in some flower petals around each oval. You go ahead and try that. Keep your petals small. I'm almost done with my petals. Last one. There. And don't worry about erasing if you mess up, because remember, we're going to be coloring over all this so you won't see it. If you do need to erase, remember, drawing lightly is going to make that to where when you erase, it takes away the mark that you don't want. But try to do this without erasing as much as you can, because it takes too much time to erase. I have my daughter's picture that she drew here to show you, and she drew a little fly on the inside of a really big Venus flytrap that closed. Can you see that? So we're going to draw that next. So watch me first and then you try. We're going to draw some lines that come out from where the flower stalk is, and we're just going to start with lines that go out. We're not going to do anything with them yet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 so far. How many do you have? We didn't put anything on the ends yet. The next part is we're going to draw some more ovals, but this is for the fly trap. So watch me do this. So let's just say this one is open and ready for a fly. I'm going to draw 2 ovals side by side. See that? You go ahead and try that. 2 ovals side by side at the end of this line, this curved line. With those 2 ovals, you're going to draw a smaller oval on the inside. Did you see me do that? Did y'all see that I drew 2 small ovals on the inside of the 2 larger ovals? Good. Now we're going to draw those spikes. They're like little teeth. But we're going to just use some straight lines coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That one got 10 spikes. Now we're going to draw that one with the fly on the inside. You ready? All right. Well, we're going to do that down here. Watch me first draw this big oval off of one of my stalks. My little curved line going down. Now we're not drawing two because this one snapped shut. So it's just one oval. You got it? Okay. So instead of putting the spikes on the outside, the spikes are actually in the middle, almost like a football. So I drew a line right down the middle. Can you do that? Draw a line through the middle of your oval. And then we're going to draw 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The little spikes. I'm going to widen or darken that one in the middle. And you can even draw like a little speck for the fly's head poking out. Remember, we're going to be coloring this later, so draw softly. Now, over here, should we do one that's open or one that's shut? Okay, let's do both. So right here, we're going to do one that's open. So that's 2 ovals. And right here, we're going to do one that's shut. Remember the oval inside of the oval and the spikes. All the way around the outside. Now I think that we could use one more. What do you think? We'll do one more Venus flytrap leaf, and we'll start here at the base because these plants grow in a cluster. You can see in this picture that this one plant grows from one center where the roots are, and it spreads out. So that's what we're going to do right here. We're going to draw one more that goes way out here. And we're going to put a big fly trap on this one. Should we do it open or shut? I think we should do it shut. So I'm going to draw a line here, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. All right. Now, I said before that these are actually the leaves of the Venus flytrap, the one that snaps shut, just like that. There went my pencil. The ones that snap shut. Those are the leaves. So to go with that, we're going to draw in the rest of the leaf. Now this is going to be a series of wavy lines, and I want you to try your best to follow what I'm doing and then try, okay? No. I'm going to start with the first one that I did here. And I'm going to start right there at the trap, and I'm going to come down a little bit. I'm going to draw kind of what starts out as a triangle. Can you do that? So on each one of these, I want you to draw 2 lines that almost make like the letter A. See how that almost looks like the letter A or an upside down V? We'll do that here too. So the smaller the leaf stalk, the smaller the leaf. Now, what's next? Watch me do this part. It's a little bit tricky. We're going to do a wavy line. I'm going to go back up and down, up and down, up and down. Can you do that? I'm going to do that on the other side. Up and down, up and down, up and down. It's a little bit of a wavy line that kind of looks like it wants to be a zigzag. So zigzag, 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 zigzag. But those little places right here are curved instead of pointed. That's the difference between a zigzag and a wavy line, are those points. All right, now that you have that, try and stay close to that center stalk, because we went back in toward it with the last part, and then we're going to flare it out and down to the bottom. That's a wide curved line. You see that? So we did a curved line. You can see how these leaves are shaped. They're not like a normal leaf that's an oval shape, or a maple leaf that has a big wide leaf. These are long and skinny, and they have those little waves in the top. So we're going to do that over here with this one too. Curvy line, and stop. Curvy line. And then it goes in toward the stem middle, and then back out and down. So there's that little bit of a curve right there. See that? How it's wider here? And do the same thing here. And the same thing here. Up, down, up, down, up, down. And then a curvy one. And it's okay if you overlap. It's going to make it look even better. I showed you my daughter's picture before, and in her picture, she overlapped two of those little guys, those little Venus flytraps, and it looks really good. It looks realistic. And that's the kind of drawing that we're doing. We're doing something that looks realistic. It represents the thing in nature that we're talking about. So what are those Venus flytraps doing with those bugs? How do they do that? Well, there's little tiny hairs on the inside of the trap, and when the bug tickles those hairs, the trap snaps shut. And then there are these juices that the plant has that dissolve the bug, and it eats the bug. And that's how these plants can survive in a harsh environment. So you've learned a little bit about different environments. And some environments for plants have lots of nutrients. And then some environments, like the desert or in certain places, don't have a lot of nutrients that the plants need. So the plants have adapted. Do you know that word, adapted? They adapted to their environment. So both plants and animals adapt to their environment. If they don't adapt, they move away and they find a better place, like most animals would. But plants can't do that. They can't just get up and walk away unless they're a Pokemon character, right? And so or a piranha plant in Super Mario Brothers. I have these two pictures to show you of those characters. And in art, often we look at nature and we create something interesting from what we saw in nature. And so the creators of these characters, like the piranha plant or the Pokemon characters, those artists took those plants and turned them into a fun creature in the video game. So think about that in your environment. What do you see all the time that you could draw? Try and look around and see what do you see in our Louisiana environment? A lot of. You might see oak trees, and you might see magnolia trees. You might see irises. We have the cypress trees that grow in the swamp. And so those plants have adapted to live here in this environment. So how is your drawing coming? Did you finish those leaves? Remember, we're going to be coloring all this in. And each one of these leaves has a Venus flytrap on the end of it that nourishes the plant. You can see in this picture the Venus flytrap flowered. And what's happening when a plant creates a flower? Do you know? What if you said it's going to make a seed? You're right. And even a Venus flytrap makes a seed out of each one of these flowers. And then those seeds, if the conditions are right, they'll sprout a whole new plant. There are other types of carnivorous plants that in the world that evolved over millions of years. They adapted to their environment that didn't have a lot of nutrients to eat bugs like flies. There's this plant called a Sundew Plant. Isn't it beautiful? All of these plants have super sweet, sticky nectar that attracts those insects. Just like pancake syrup. They can't help themselves. They want to eat that syrup so bad. Well, on the surface of this plant, you can see all those sticky little dewdrops of yumminess. There are also pitcher plants. And as my kids showed me, there's actually a Pokemon based on this pitcher plant. And these plants these pitcher plants, catch bugs by attracting them with that sweet syrup smell, and the plants fall down inside this tube. And inside the tube, there's like a little pool of water where the insect will get dissolved, and the plant will use the nutrients from the bug to survive. What are some of your favorite foods that help you survive? Do you like chicken nuggets or French fries? Well, there's not a whole lot of nutrients in that except protein. Have you ever heard of that before? Protein? Well, protein is what helps us have strong muscles and helps us grow and helps us have lots of energy. And that's what these bugs are providing for the plant. Well, I want to thank you for being with me today for this part of the project. We're going to color this next time. So remember, to remember to look in your environment and try to do a little bit of art every day, even if it's just a doodle. Thank you so much for being with me. I'll see you next time.